So, yeah, that's basically the part of forgiveness. Going into the area of being tested based off of my forgiveness, like with my mom, I knew that I was being tested on whether I forgave her or not when the conversation about my dad would be brought up, and like how I reacted and how I responded. Some ways I was responding like really aggressively, like I don't want to talk about this right now, like why did you have to bring this up? And then as time went on and I started to forgive her more frequently, um, every day, and like really going to my prayer closet and exposing things that I thought I had forgave her about. Like I was exposing things that were still hidden in my heart. And so like it was a couple more times after that where the topic was brought up, and I noticed that my behavior towards it became more positive. And it was just like, well, I forget my mom, so I don't know why we're still bringing this up. Like, yeah, it was just more like relaxing. It was a lot more compassion, a more of a compassionate response. And then how I know I was being tested, like when I started to forgive my dad, and it was just like the same scenario with my mom. Um, my reaction and my response was totally different. But like my biggest test came when I started to forgive the guys who I had been in relationships before, and how I was affected like negatively and stuff like that. Um, I knew that uh, I knew that I was forgiving them, like just to say I forgave them when I would run into them like on the bus or just in public, and they'll speak and I just wouldn't say anything. And then I'll go home and I'll be like, okay, Lord, I must have not forgiven them all the way where I can't even speak to them. Like it's gonna be certain people that you're gonna forgive that um, maybe one day you have to speak to, or maybe one day like you'll have to interact with again, but not like in a way where it'll be, oh, you're gonna be a part of my life forever. It'll just be a time where you should know that they were once part of your life and they weren't meant to stay in it. So like you'll start to move on. And so I know that I wasn't ready to move on when I'll run into them and I'll just like not have anything to say, and I would think negative thoughts, and I'd be like, I wish I never met you, like those type of thoughts. But as I started to allow God to really expose the areas of my heart so that I can move on, I would run into them again and I'll be like, hey, how are you doing? And I'll really mean it. And some of them like weren't doing okay, and I'll still like I'll just pray for them right then and there, because I know that although they did me wrong, I didn't want anyone to ever experience the pain I went through, even though it was them that caused it. So that's how I knew that I was starting to truly forgive, was when I was able to pray for the person who actually hurt me and wish nothing bad on them. Another way I knew I was being tested on forgiveness and like actually passing the test is when um, uh, I'm trying to think of another way, because there was many ways I was being tested. Like I think that was it. I think like God just kept allowing me to run into these people, just to do like a self evaluation on whether I really forgave them or not. So yeah, like I kept running into them, and like I said, my response was different each time, and it wasn't easy. Like running into them and then not feeling that pain, like that's not easy. I'm not saying like it's like a quick overnight type of process, like it takes time. But if you really want to forgive and you really want to move on, you really have to put in the time to do it. Like I knew that I was gonna continue to be tested on this same scenario, because I wasn't doing the work fully. Like I knew I was going to continue to be tested, and I knew I didn't want to do that anymore. So I started to change my ways of doing my so-called way of forgiving. I was like, okay, Lord, how do you expect for me to forgive? Like, what do I need to do so that I can be able to forgive and move on? Because I know that these people were sent in my life to teach me a lesson, and I want to be able to catch the lesson right now than to keep being tested and keep having to like go in a pattern all over and over again. Because God's not going to allow you to like meet someone new and like carry that baggage, especially if you really are seeking just seeking something new, seeking like a new move in your life. So I knew that came with doing things that weren't familiar of. What am I trying to say? Like, I knew I had to step outside of myself. I knew I had to step outside of the familiar to really do it God's way. So although like I want to like halfway forgive people, God is like, He's not a halfway God. So you can't do things halfway. You have to do things fully as they are. Like, you have to go through the full process of forgiving, for healing, all that. You have to go through the full thing, and you have to be ready for that. Because like I'm telling y'all, I wasn't ready, man. I thought I was, but as time went on, I was like, nah, I ain't ready for this. And God was like, yes, you are. You just have to put in the work now. This is your time to put in the work, and it's not going to be comfortable. And that's what He took me out. He took me out of being comfortable, and He put me in uncomfortable so that I can be able to grow. If He hadn't done that, if He hadn't literally made me come in contact with these people who had hurt me and learn how to forgive them full-heartedly, I wouldn't have known that I was capable of even forgiving them. And then not only forgiving them, praying for them, that God have grace and mercy on their soul. Because I'm telling you, these people, I can't even say that like they probably did it intentionally. It's just they probably don't even know they're doing it, like, because they're so caught up in their own pain that they don't even probably know that they're hurting anyone else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're probably so blinded and just don't know the effects of them not doing the work, how it's affecting other people. So I had to forgive them for that, for not doing the work themselves and inflicting their pain on me. So that's how I really knew I was forgiving people, when I started praying for them and praying that they get right, and praying that whoever hurt them, that they forgive them. Like, it started to get deep, yo. Like, I was just like, well, I don't know who hurt him, but I pray that whoever hurt him, he'll be able to forgive them so he can move on and stop hurting people and hurting himself, because you're only hurting yourself. Yeah, you might affect someone. Yeah, someone might really like done you wrong, but deep down inside, they really are hurting themselves. Like, they really are, because they're not growing, they're not getting any better. So yeah, that's how I knew I was being tested on forgiveness, was when I was faced with the same people, and yeah, my response to them was totally different each time I was faced with them. And then after I stopped being faced with them, like, I knew that God was like, okay, it's time to move on. Like, that was His sign. When I stopped running into them, that's how I felt like He was like, okay, you're clear to move on to this next stage. And I'm glad that I went through what I went through, because yeah, I was at a point in my life where I just wanted to be free, free from pain, free from hurt. And I'm not saying that I'm fully there, but I know that a lot has been lifted off of my shoulders. I know a lot has been lifted out of me in general, because when you carry pain and hurt, it's a presence that you carry with you. Like, everyone can put on a fake smile, everyone can put on a nice outfit, but it's an energy that you carry when you're hurting, when you're in pain, and when you're carrying unforgiveness. There's a weight that you carry, and it plays a role in your presence and your energy around certain people. And I definitely feel lighter, and even my mom has said, like, oh, you feel lighter today, Aaliyah. And it's because I'm doing the work. You know, it's not easy, like, at all. but I'm willing to do it because I want to be a better me, and I don't want to play a role of a victim because I'm not. And I'm a survivor, but yet I am capable of conquering any mountain that's put in my way, any obstacle, and I want to really step foot into the woman that God has called me to be, and I can't do that if I can't do just like this process of forgiving, if I just can't do the process of healing. Like I know I can't move forward unless I do these processes. So if you're in an area where you're just fed up with feeling this way, fed up with this person, and you want to just move on and move forward, you have to forgive and learn how to forgive and allow God to show you how to forgive, because he's the one who placed that person to teach you that lesson. Now, some of us don't know what that lesson is, and he'll help you, but and some of us are still being retested on that lesson. Is because you have to fall out of your comfortable place that you're comfortable in. You have to fall out of things that are familiar, patterns. You have to fall out of that in order for you to really see the light. No, for real, because man, I didn't realize how blind I was with my glasses on when I was in my own way. Like I really was. I thought that Aaliyah could do it all, but I can do nothing without God. And I appreciate him for even putting me through this so that I can be able to share with you guys on how to make it, how to move on with your lives. Trying to make sure that that's all I want to share with you guys. Make sure I got everything covered. But yeah, guys, I shared with you guys forgiveness and being tested on forgiveness. Yeah. And if you're feeling that like someone is unworthy of being forgiven, I was there. Like, some people I had to forgive, where I was just like, Lord, you sure about that? Like, you sure you want me to do that? And he was like, yes, because he doesn't want anyone to perish. He doesn't want anyone to go to hell, and you shouldn't either. And I know there's some things that some people have done to you that it's like, you don't understand, Aaliyah. Like, I can't possibly do that. Yes, you can. I didn't get to share all of my experiences on here, but I've been through some things where it was just like, I thought I would never forgive that person. I thought I would never be able to eat dinner with them, do anything with them that involved them. Like, it was points at a time where I didn't even want to hear that person's name, all that. But God was like, you can't possibly call yourself a woman of God and have that type of heart for that person or have that type of thought for that person. You can't possibly be a child of mine thinking that you're going to move on through life still holding on to that hatred, still holding on to unforgiveness. And so when he told me that, I was like, okay, Lord, like, I don't have time to play with you. Like, I'm not zigzagging my way to hell. Nope, I got to get to heaven. You're my destination. What I got to do? And so he was like, all right. He had to really open up those wounds and be like, okay, you got to open it up so that you can see where you need to heal at, and allow me to fully do heart surgery, really allow me to do what I need to do in your life so that you can move forward. And so he did that. He's doing that. He's still active. I'm still in recovery. I'm still having little minor surgeries here and there on my heart, on areas of my life that I need him to really rebuild and replace and replenish and all that. So believe me, you'll be still hearing stories about me forgiving and stuff like that, and that's just part of life, because even in the Bible it says we're supposed to forgive 7,000 times a day. Well, I don't know if I've done it that many times, but I know I'm working on it, because I really want to be fully recovered and fully healed. And I don't want to put any of my hurt or any of my issues on anyone else. So I want to make sure that I'm the best version before I move on in any stage of my life, whether that's motherhood, whether that's being a wife, any of those stages. I don't want to carry any of that if I don't have to. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to come in perfect. I'm not saying that. But if I could come in a little bit lighter than how I was last year, I know that I'm doing good. I know I'm doing all right. So if you guys are looking forward to series number 4, I haven't decided on what day I want to upload. Probably it'll be Saturday because I work tomorrow and I have some things I have to do for my church. But if you guys are looking for series number 4, I'm going to give you guys the title now. It is titled The Build Up. So after I went through forgiveness, after I went through my reminder and my exposure, it was time for the build up, like level up, level up, level up. And I'm going to share with you guys on how I did that. So stay tuned and I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching all the way.